Live, it's James Maduke speaking. What have I got for you today? Well, if you're over 40 and you're thinking of creating an online video, a YouTube video, or maybe an online course, and you're overwhelmed with this whole idea of creating all this stuff about the video or the course having to be perfect and have all of this stuff in it, I'm going to break down a simple process that you can follow to make sure that just doesn't happen, especially when you're first starting out with for first course, first how-to videos, first lessons, that kind of thing. So we're going to do a couple pieces here to this, and I just want to talk about those briefly. The first one is there's a huge problem that I think content creators have, myself included. I'm going to show you what that problem is, and then I'm going to show you a way to actually fix it. And here's the gist of it, kind of the big picture. Whenever you're creating online courses or online videos or YouTube videos or how-to materials, anytime you're creating this content, most people struggle with the fact that they're creating the content for themselves. They have a picture of what the content should be, and it's based on all their experience, all their passion, everything that they know. And they have this really huge, complex picture because they've got so much going on in their head. On the other hand, the people who want to find out an answer or two usually have a very simple picture of what it is that they want, and they wish someone would just absolutely keep it simple and show them only what they need to do and only go through it. And this is something that I struggle with personally all the time. My goal for myself is to try and condense the videos that I do, not talk so much, and try and do more one-on-one smaller videos as opposed to larger ones because I get off on a tangent. So I got to slap my hand here and stop talking now and get on to the next part. And the next part is I'm going to show you an example of one that I've done recently that I'm just fixing. And this is an example of, I'll do a couple things here. The first one is I'm going to be using mind maps, and I'm going to show you an AI tool that works with these mind maps. And this is why it's important. One of the things that I do personally, I'm just going to open this up on another screen. I'm going to be flipping some screens back and forth so that you see it from time to time. So here's one here. Here is a download that I provide for people as a lead magnet. I have a campus blueprint, and I actually have a mind map that's a PDF that I give people as something to see if they want to create an online campus, an education business. It's a map with all of the stuff that's involved in doing it in my experience. Now, that's available as a download. It's just very simple. Everything you need to know about creating online courses, building your own training sites, and selling your courses online. That was what the map was supposed to be about. Now, here's the issue. On my map, the one that I'm playing around with that I think of, guess what that map looks like? Yeah, it looks like that. This is the map. And just to give you a perspective on this, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger so that you see it, and we'll move it around on the page here. But there's actually a whole bunch of steps that are in play here, right? We've got, research, topic authority map, and all of these steps, and a lot of these steps, 3 steps, 2 steps, 5 steps, outline your campus goals, clarify your business models, look at all the business tools. And I put this map together because this is all of the stuff that I know goes into having an education business. But if I'm just starting out and the people I'm trying to help are people that may not be technically savvy yet. They may have not been experts in creating courses or videos and that kind of thing. They look at this and this is an absolute nightmare for them, even though I know that behind the scenes, this is the stuff that happens. So I have to create something that is for them, not for me. And I have to give something to people that they can appreciate or use and absolutely keep it simple. Now, this is with a mind map. Exact same thing happens when you create online courses or videos. You have to make sure that if you are using a map to start off with, which is what I highly suggest, is that you do something which I'm going to show you now, and that is use ChatGPT or Claude to condense your map and simplify it. And even the terms that I'm using as an example. So, I'm talking about, building a topical authority map or learning tracks, or even the word campus, for example, or community rewards and engagement. Some people may have no idea what that is, even though I do. So, even things about individual pieces that you put in here, like incentivize the journey or gamification, it's stuff that people may not know about or want to know about. They just want to know, how do I get started creating a course? What do I need to do? What's the process? So I'm using this as an example, a map. What did I do with it to try and figure it out? Well, here's something that's really cool. I'm going to bring over I'll do one here as a version. Yeah, so here's one here. I'm just going to bring over, this is a tool that I use, and I've actually done some videos on this previously. I'll make sure to put the links for you. This one is called, let me do this screen here, and I'll open this one up. So this is Xmind. It's a free piece of software that creates mind maps. And in this particular example, I'm just going to get it to fit to the screen here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Actually, we'll make it 80% and then move it around. So here's the steps kind of condensed, right? So I'm looking at this, and one of the things you can do with mind maps is you can export a mind map. Now, almost all of them do these, and this is really important for ChatGPT and AI tools. When you have a tool that does mind maps, 99 times out of 100, you will be able to export the map that you create. So I'm still talking about create a map. All of the stuff that you think needs to be in your course, all the lessons, all of that stuff, all of the things you think need to be in your video or your how-to tutorial, all the bullet points you want to cover. And in fact, even if you do have ChatGPT create your content, your video script, I would put the talking points in this stuff here so you can see it visually, or use ChatGPT to create, or Claude as an example, to actually create a visual representation so you can move things around and get it the way that you want. But all I'm doing here is I'm just going to go export it, and I'm going to export it as something called Markdown. And the reason I'm doing Markdown is because all of the AI tools read and also provide Markdown version. It's like a universal language for computers that shows the formatting of stuff. For example, what's a title, what's a heading, what's a smaller heading, bigger heading, what's a bullet point kind of thing. And it's just a simple language to take what's visually here and turn it into text. So all that I do is I exported this particular big honkin' huge map, and I said to Claude, in this particular case, what I did is I said, you know what? I would really like you to simplify what it is that I just gave you. So I'll show you some of the chat here as well. So what I did is I took the map and I just added it to my first chat in Claude. And again, this works identical with ChatGPT or Claude. And this is the way you should kind of look at this when you're moving through this. So all I did is I attached the file. And what I said to it, I said, this is a plan or map for people wanting to create an education business. It's too complicated. I want you to create a simplified version and output it as Markdown. Keep the intent and focus on how this can be made simple for beginners wanting to get started on YouTube and creating online courses with little technical knowledge. So I'm taking my picture and I'm having ChatGPT or Claude turn it into my market's picture in a format that is simple for the people that I'm trying to help and answer their easy questions. And this is what happens. I get a simplified version of the map. Now, this is exactly the same thing that you're going to be able to use, either recreating the map, or more importantly, if you're creating a lesson plan or any kind of that material, the actual course content, the modules that are there, the sections you're creating, this is done a complete and small version of the exact same content, but put it in a manner that is easy for beginners to understand. Okay? So create an intermediate version followed by an advanced version. So what I said, you know what? I've got one for beginners. What about if it's not quite where I want it to be? What would happen if I had it for advanced? And I went through a couple things and I said, you know what? Let's go take a look at that and we'll do some additional pieces to it. and I started to flesh it out a bit. But the thing that's interesting here for me is that the terms that get generated by ChatGPT or Claude in this particular instance, just without actually giving any special instructions, they're simple things that are easy to understand for the beginner. And at the end of the day, what I got was a complete copy and even another map in Markdown. So I got the exact same Markdown version that I can use and import or open in my mind mapping software, Xmind, and it actually just created it here so that we could see it and play around with it. So it created the text, the full explanation of everything that I need for the course or the lesson that I'm doing, and it also gave me a mind map that I can use, which is completely different than the one I started with, but it's in the picture of something that is simple for the people I'm trying to help and have them understand it. So anytime you're creating these videos, here's the lesson here. What I want you to do is just think about, what can I do to keep this absolutely simple? And you want to look and start off and say, what do I think needs to be in this course or this lesson? And then you're going to ask yourself, what do the people who are going to find this course or this lesson, whether it be on YouTube or in a purchased course, or an opt-in where you're providing the mind map for something to build your list, but what do they need to see, or what would they want to see based on your experience? And if you can, try your best to not create what you think should be created, but more importantly, create what the people you're trying to help need to have created. And use mind maps, and then also use ChatGPT to take your mind maps. And even if you did have the text, you didn't create a mind map, and you use ChatGPT like on some of the other videos that I've shown you how to actually create a video script, give it back and say, can you please simplify this or turn it into a mind map so that I can see it and figure out where it fits into what people actually want and need. So if this is something that's of interest to you, of course, make sure you visit trainingsites.io. Someone asked me today how many courses that I have here, and here's the actual campus map course. It's right here, and you can see we have all of the different pieces on it. They're available in a course. This is the one I'm redoing just because of what we were talking about. Sorry, that was just showing you this particular, the campus map that was there. So this is the opt-in. This is where people go after the opt-in. I'm just making this a lot more simple, and hopefully it'll be able to be a little more understandable for people as they get going. Courses, I got a ton of courses. I think there's 30 some published now. Go to trainingsites.io, reach out, and you can find out about our agency service, which is all about doing all of this stuff for you. If you're just still don't have the time or you don't want to learn how to do this stuff yourself, we can do it for you. Pick a time there, and I'd love to help you out and get going with it. So my name is James Maduke. Like and subscribe to the channel. It's trainingsites.io, and we'll see you again next time, maybe tomorrow morning, when we do any of these live videos that show you how to start, build, and grow your education business. Take care and expect the best.